morning, everyone. This is Tara Sewell, internal wholesaler with Financial Markets. Thank you for joining us today. Your lines are muted. However, if you have any questions or comments throughout the call, please use your GoToWebinar chat function to submit your note. First of all, from all of us here at Financial Markets and the carriers you sell each and every day, thank you. Thank you for your business, and thank you for the retirement security and family protection you provide to your clients. Without you and your clients, our firm and the insurance companies you solicit would not be where we are today. So a big thank you to all the producers on the call. We appreciate you. Congratulations to Mark. He was our winner of the December Christmas shopping spree. And congratulations to our runners-up who won $50 Amazon gift cards. Thank you for joining us today for the FMI Agent March Madness giveaway. Today we will discuss funding long-term care and the differences between 7702B and 101G. Now let's dive into the details for the March Madness giveaway. Now our qualification period was from January 4th, 2021 through last Friday, April 2nd. You earned one ticket for every application submitted, $10,000 in annuity premium, and $1,000 in anticipated life, MedSup, DI, or long-term care premium. Double tickets were given for each application with our premier carriers, and then you received triple tickets for every case that was submitted and placed before April 2nd of 2021. Now, you must be registered with your full name and present on the webinar for the duration in order to win. Today, the odds are in your favor. There are a total of 4,296 total tickets. Your name can only be drawn once, and again, you must be on the call for the duration of the webinar in order to win. Now, let's get started with our first finalist. Now, we have our fancy hat here. We've been shuffling the names. We'll give them one last shuffle. Drop those names in our hat. And we are looking for our first finalist. Kevin Ely with 106 tickets in the hat. Is Kevin Ely on the call?
Hello, everyone. This is Neil Sperling here. I'm looking at the roster, and Kevin Ely is not on the call, Tara.
Okay, let's try again. Drop those tickets in the hat. We are looking for our first finalist. Kirby Bowden, 526 tickets in the hat. Wow. Is Kirby on the call this morning?
And Kirby is on the call.
Congratulations, Kirby. There are many great tools available to you on our website, fmiAgent.com. Another great tool is our FMI Agent mobile app. Term and GUL quotes are available to you on your phone or your tablet. Search FMI Agent in the App Store. Now we're on to our second finalist. Kirby Bowden is our first finalist, and our second finalist, Ann Hepker with 6 tickets in the hat. Is Ann on the call?
Just looking here, Tara. I do not see Ann on the call.
Okay, let's draw again. We are looking for our second finalist, Angela Ford with 109 tickets in the hat. Is Angela on the call?
She is on the call.
Congratulations, Angie. Now, if you haven't yet, you can subscribe to the Financial Markets YouTube channel at youtube.com/FMIAgent. You will find webinar replays, sales concepts, case studies, consumer videos, and of course, the popular Dow's Weekly Digest. Visit the page, check out some videos, and don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can receive notifications as new content is posted. Let's draw for our third finalist. So far, we have Kirby Bowden and Angie Ford. Our third finalist we're looking for, Carmen Hoyton. Is Carmen on the call?
Just looking here, and Carmen is not on the call.
Okay, we are looking for our third finalist. Let's try again. Mel Stober with 55 tickets. Is Mel on the call?
I think he goes by a different first name, and I don't
Jim.
see.
Yep.
There we go.
Maybe it's under Jim.
And I do not see that. Nope.
Okay. Folks, we are looking for our third finalist. So far, we have Kirby Bowden and Angie Ford. How about Todd Adrian with 41 tickets in the hat? Is Todd on the call?
And Todd is on the call.
Congratulations, Todd. You are our third finalist.
And I just got a note from one of the other ones that you drew. They weren't here at the time of the drawing, and I'm sorry to keep it fair for everybody. You got to be on the call when the drawing happens.
Yes. Now, as a producer working with financial markets, you have access to many great long-term care funding options. Today, Neil Sperling, Vice President of Financial Markets, will be discussing many long-term care funding options, as well as discussing the differences between the 7702B and the 101G benefits. Neil?
All right. Well, thank you, Tara. Really appreciate it, and good luck to everybody in the drawing. All right. Hey, thank you, everyone, for your business that counted towards the drawing today. Financial markets had a near record sales volume in the first quarter, and really it's only because you guys write the business. So thank you. Thank you. Today we're going to visit about the many ways available to fund the long-term care risk. The facts prove this is a substantial risk to your client's financial assets. Your clients will either choose to transfer the risk to an insurance product or accept the risk on their own. I personally own long-term care insurance with State Life, as you may know them, One America, and I also have another small policy with MetLife. And I mention that to let you know not only do I think you and your clients need to get coverage in place, I too have done the same. First, let's start with the basics. Extended care or long-term care means the assistance that's required for activities of daily living, or if the person has a severe cognitive impairment. And examples of activities of daily living include grooming, self-feeding, and continence. Cognitive impairments include Alzheimer's, dementia, organic-type brain disorders. A common misconception that extended care means going into a nursing home. And that's not necessarily the case. Most people would prefer to receive care in their own home, and there's more options than ever to facilitate those types of care. Long-term care now encompasses a broad spectrum of care, from adult daycare to end-of-life hospice care even. So let's start with a question. You may never need care, but if you did, how would that affect your family? Good thing to ask your client. Being unprepared for extended health care can have a big impact not only on your client's life, but on that of their spouse and their family. So 4 important things to consider when loved ones need care. Spouse. Your client's spouse may feel an obligation to become the caregiver, or perhaps the financial situation will dictate that. The stress and responsibility of being a primary caregiver can often make the caregiver ill as well. If a spouse isn't involved, oftentimes children or other loved ones carry the burden. It's been said that when you need extended care, your life doesn't end, but someone else's may. And being unprepared for extended care can also have a big impact on the dynamics of their family. The burden of care may not be shared equally among the children. Often one child bears the brunt. It's not hard to imagine how this can affect their relationship with the other siblings. And I'm sure there's personal stories on this call that would agree with that. Ultimately, when one child is carrying the burden of care, the family dynamics can be severely impacted. Other consequences of being unprepared for this risk is your clients can really have unnecessary losses, and they can never avoid all losses, but with proper preparation, you can help them mitigate the emotional, physical, and familial losses that result from the lack of preparedness. Financial losses can be mitigated as well, in addition to these. Another question for your client. If you did need care, how would you pay for it? And so these are kind of rebuttals that you folks may have come across. Possible answer, the government's going to take care of me. And there's a lot of misconceptions or misunderstandings with regard to the government programs. Many folks believe that Medicare pays for their nursing home. and it can be misunderstood because Medicare does pay for nursing home, but followed by a hospital stay for a very short period of time. Most importantly, it's designed for rehabilitative care, meaning you're getting better and will be going back home. Then we look at Medicaid. Medicaid does pay for the type of care that we're talking about here today, meaning a person will need help from this point forward with their activities of daily living. But Medicaid is on a needs basis, as you know, which requires one to spend down their assets to qualify. This may not cover care at home either. Options and choices are limited when the government's paying. One thing we can all agree on, government has and can change over time, so it'd be appropriate to plan ahead of time. Insurance helps cover the cost of qualifying expenses. Hey, it's always a good idea and recommended to transfer the risk to an insurance company for protection. But many haven't purchased a long-term care policy for several reasons. As you guys know, many carriers have exited the long-term care marketplace. It can be difficult to qualify for. Certainly, you got to be healthy to qualify. Perception is that it can be pretty expensive. And then some folks just say, I don't think we'll need it. So we'll, if I buy this long-term care, it's a use it or lose it policy. So that brings us to self-funding. Self-funding, they pay out of pocket, out of default, because they didn't plan, or they're crossing their fingers and hoping their money will last, or they believe or have been told that they have plenty of cash and don't need the insurance. So really, self-funding requires setting aside just-in-case funds. Many people can't cover the cost of long-term care, care, and self-funding erodes assets super fast. And I know some folks on the call have seen those in certain families. It really erodes quickly, and especially with the high cost of care today, coupled with ongoing inflation. So you may ask your client, would it be wise to use a small percentage of your investable assets to protect the rest? If they're going to self-pay, there might be a better way. So as mentioned, we're going to look at two types of coverage. So while there's other funding choices like reverse mortgages and aging communities with progression of care facilities, most of your clients will be considering an insurance option over those other choices. The two primary insurance options available today are long-term care insurance and chronic illness accelerated benefits. Long-term care insurance under Internal Revenue Code 7702B was defined by Congress in the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act in 1996, known as HIPAA. Among other things, it finally defined tax-qualified long-term care coverage, income tax deductions for long-term care premiums, and most importantly, defined benefits from tax-qualified long-term care coverage would be income tax-free up to certain per diem limits. So 7702B has been with us for quite some time and still very much represents the lion's share of in-force coverage for long-term care coverage. Now, during the conversation here today, I'm going to use the term long-term care interchangeably with chronic illness and long-term care. Probably not politically correct, but for expressing coverage, I may use the term long-term care for both types of coverage. So now on to 101G. Internal Revenue Code 101 relates primarily to life insurance, and 101G relates to accelerated benefits on life insurance, such as terminal illness accelerated benefits that have been with us for decades. A provision was added in conjunction with the Pension Protection Act of 2006 to the Internal Revenue Code 101G that referenced certain 7702B provisions. There was one pitfall that 101G had that 7702B did not. The chronic illness required that the condition was expected to be permanent to receive an acceleration, while the regular tax-qualified long-term care, the condition only needed to be expected to last for 90 days or more. So fortunately, under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, they amended 101G and made the definition refer specifically to 7702B, no longer requiring the condition to be permanent. And this effectively made the two sections hard to distinguish from one another as it relates to benefits received, except for the actual insurance coverage itself, where 7702B applies to health insurance and 101G applies to a life insurance product, or more so properly said, an insurance product. Well, people like me like to know all this background. Let's look at what it means to your clients. As we go through this, please know that none of this content should be considered legal or tax advice. There are many individual situations that could affect taxability, tax deductibility, and other topics we'll cover. So the information we are sharing is in general, and your client's individual situation will determine the applicable rules. Okay, so first we have the old tried and true 7702B. That's what you and I refer to as tax qualified long-term care. Now this could be a standalone long-term care plan or a rider on an insurance product, like life insurance. First, you must hold a health insurance license to sell a long-term care insurance product. Additionally, many states have enacted specific long-term care CE requirements for producers, which was largely a result of the state long-term care partnership program. Now, we won't go into detail on the state partnership program today, but if you want to learn more, there's good content at fmiAgent.com about it, or reach out to your internal wholesaler here at Financial Markets. You see on this chart, it indicates that premiums are deductible for long-term care. And I got to say, this is somewhat misleading. While premiums are deductible, you must first qualify for itemized medical expense deductions. Then you're further limited by age groups as to the amount of premium that you can actually deduct. So again, while premiums are technically deductible for long-term care, in practice, they're not practically deductible for most taxpayers. But now onto the most important part defined by HIPAA is the benefits are tax-free up to the HIPAA per diem limit. So what about chronic illness accelerated benefits under 101G? This has gone under the radar as far as some requirements the producer needs to meet. Because it is an acceleration of benefits on an insurance product, and the product by and large is a life insurance product, no special license is required to sell these except for your normal life insurance license. And the reason I say insurance product and further differentiate with life insurance is that the chronic illness rider can be placed on an annuity also, and that would require an annuity license and state annuity training in most states. There are very few annuity-based products available out there today, and because of reserving requirements on annuities versus life insurance, the consumer gets a much better benefit on a life insurance-based product as compared to an annuity-based plan. There are no current state CE requirements to sell chronic illness accelerated benefits, and while the premium is not deductible on chronic illness products, in practice, they're also virtually not deductible on a long-term care insurance product either. So now let's take a look at an important definition, and this is something interesting. This is the definition to qualify for benefits under both 7702B and 101G types of coverage. You'll notice they're nearly identical. The only caveat is the "and will likely need assistance for the rest of his or her life." The reason we added that here is that 7702B coverage, the condition does not need to be expected to be permanent. On the chronic illness, there are still some products on the market that have the older definition requiring the condition to be expected to be permanent. And then some other iterations will indicate the condition must be expected to last 1 year or more. But the majority of the quality products we have available today have no permanency requirement on the 101G version since the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 was passed, allowing that language to be removed to qualify for benefits. So when you're looking at a specific product based upon chronic illness, it makes sense just to check the definition to see if it requires a permanent or a 1 year, or they don't have the permanency criteria at all. So really the purpose of this discussion is to avail you of the many options you have to share with your clients. So going back to this, I suggest both are better, meaning that your clients need to protect themselves from the long-term care risk. And if they do it with a more traditional long-term care product or a chronic illness product, it doesn't really matter in the big picture. The fact is your clients need the coverage, and the money is money when it comes to paying for long-term care. I can tell you that when claim time happens, the client will not ask if it's a 101G payment or a 7702B payment. They will be glad they have the funds to cover the need at that time. And with the recent regulation changes, they're nearly the same as it relates to claim time. So which is better? Again, both are better than not having coverage. So what products fit the need to cover long-term care? So here is an excerpt from our portfolio. There were too many products to list here, but here's some of the common products. As you know, the traditional long-term care marketplace has shrunk considerably over the past decade. Most carriers left the marketplace, like John Hancock, Genworth, and Transamerica. Most carriers have either discontinued long-term care products altogether or moved to a hybrid product. But Mutual of Omaha has stayed the course, and they have one of the best traditional long-term care plans available on the market today. Though, as you can see, we have a huge suite of long-term care rider and chronic illness rider products. So we're going to show you a comparison of these products. But in the interest of computing power and your time, we're going to limit the list to these products. We selected these products based upon what you are selling primarily and to cover each of the main product design types.
Neil.
Yeah.
Jason is saying that he cannot hear. However, some callers are hearing it.
Yep. It looks like by and large, we've got a ton of comments back saying they can hear, so I think we'll continue.
Okay.
And maybe that person needs to maybe dial back in.
Right. Call back in. Okay.
Yep.
I'll send a message.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. So we'll look at John Hancock that has a traditional life insurance product with a tax-qualified long-term care rider. We'll also look at the Mutual of Omaha traditional standalone long-term care product, the North American no initial cost chronic illness accelerated benefit rider that's available on both their term and their permanent products. And we will look at the Protective Life Extend Care rider that comes with a fee and is available on their permanent plans. And finally, we'll look at the One America Asset Care product that's designed with the 7702B rider. The foundation of the product is focused on long-term care benefits rather than life insurance. So product position, as mentioned previously, which is the right product for my clients, and I believe it comes really to the client's specific needs and desires. Do they primarily need coverage for the long-term care risk, or do they primarily desire life insurance protection, and it would be nice to have some long-term care benefits included? So this is a non-scientific spectrum of coverage using the selected products that we'll be comparing. If the client says, I just want to cover the long-term care risk, they may be served best with a traditional LTC policy from Mutual of Omaha. For those who, again, primarily want to cover the long-term care risk but don't like the idea that if they do not use it, they lose it, they might be best served with a hybrid plan, maybe with One America. For those who find both life insurance and long-term care quite important, they may be best served by the John Hancock or Protective Life products that really have comprehensive long-term care benefits. Or if you have a client that's primarily interested in life insurance protection, it might be a good reason to select North American's no initial cost chronic illness benefits on their very competitive term and permanent plans over a product that doesn't have any of those. Basically, I think you'll see you get what you pay for. So let's look at some real-world examples. So here's an example of a female 60 with as similar benefits as we could illustrate. In the first column, you'll see the carrier in the plan. The second column identifies which type of coverage it is, and as well if it's indemnity or reimbursement. Now, reimbursement only pays to the extent of care you received for the covered period, normally monthly. So if you had a $6,000 monthly benefit and the cost of the qualified care is only $5,000, the insurance carrier will only pay out $5,000 for that month. The balance will remain in the pool of benefits for later use if and when it's needed. An indemnity benefit, or cash as I like to call it, will pay the full amount regardless of the level of care received. Indemnity can be nice to pay for other things while on care, such as mortgage expenses, prescription drugs, or informal caregivers. But the bulk of the expense is the cost for chronic illness care, so both do a great job in covering the long-term care risk. The next column is the monthly cost for coverage. This is the monthly premium that your client's going to pay for the coverage. The next is the monthly maximum benefit, followed by the benefit pool, or the max LTC benefit. That's the maximum cumulative amount the product will pay in the event of care. Last is the if I do not use it, will I lose it benefit, the death benefit. So you can see that traditional long-term care with Mutual of Omaha is very price competitive dollar for dollar. Sure, no different than your auto or homeowner's insurance if you ever have a claim. If you never have a claim, nothing is paid out. But you can see it's relatively inexpensive compared to the other more popular options. You see the North American product from the life insurance amount perspective is the most competitively priced. They have a no upfront cost chronic illness rider included automatically in their product, up to a table 4 risk class. The difference with their benefit is at claim time, they use an actuarial discount to determine the benefits received. So for example, with their actuarial discount method, the $4,895 monthly benefit in this example, if the claim time is at age 80, it reduces the death benefit by $6,000, not the $4,895 benefit received, but you pay no additional premium for it initially, so you get what you pay for. Moving to the John Hancock product, great value for the benefits. You get the full $6,000 benefit. It reduces the death benefit dollar for dollar, unlike the North American design, but of course, you pay for it. Looking at the Protective Life product, again, you get great value for the benefits, but not only does the Protective product pay the $6,000 benefit, it pays it on that indemnity or cash basis regardless of the care that was received. One might prefer the indemnity Protective over the John Hancock reimbursement model, depending on your approach. Then the One America product. It's based on a whole life chassis, and as you can see, for similar long-term care benefits and half the death benefit, it's quite a bit more expensive in this specific scenario. So in this example, we use a single female. Let's look at joint coverage. Here we have a couple, both age 60. You can see the premium for Mutual of Omaha only went from $214 on the previous slide to $242 for the couple. So there's tremendous value in joint coverage with the traditional long-term care. Now onto the North American John Hancock and Protective. These carriers do not have a joint life option, and you can see the premium more than doubled. However, this also doubled the death benefit. As you can see, both clients will have a $300,000 death benefit. And of course, it gives them both a $6,000 monthly long-term care benefit. Now you see the One America product did not go up on price as drastic as the other 3 options with the death benefit. So it went from $551 a month premium for that single coverage to only $711 for a joint plan, and the benefit pool, as you can see here, increased by about 25%. Both have the $6,000 monthly long-term care benefit, and the reason that One America perhaps is less costly in this design is that the life insurance benefits are paid upon the second death. In this case, $200,000. So you can see some incredible value really with all these products, from the death benefits on the North American Hancock and Protective, and the lower costs of the One America and Mutual of Omaha products. Let's take a look at some, important differences between the plans. To make the comparisons we just looked at, and to make the comparisons as close in benefits as possible, we did not include inflation protection. However, that can be quite important and is available on the traditional long-term care with Mutual of Omaha, as well as the hybrid asset care. I mentioned this before, but you get what you pay for. While the North American plan is the lowest cost option for those with death benefits on an individual basis, the long-term care benefits reduce the death benefit at a greater rate than the benefits the client receives with their actuarial discount method. That, keeping in mind there's no initial cost for those long-term care benefits with them. This has been a popular topic, and that is the premium guarantees. While the Mutual of Omaha product rates are subject to change, they're not planned to change, but the past suggests that their rates could increase on existing policyholders in the future. With the other four, premiums can be guaranteed by the underlying life insurance product. Now, care coordination. This is something that is not spoken about often enough, in my opinion. Having care coordination services is tremendously important to the healthy individual in the family. So the one spouse is going to be going in for care. Having that helpline, the 800 number, to find the right facility for the type of care that they need, very, very important. Benefit that really costs your client nothing, included in the plan. As we noticed in the prior comparisons, the Mutual of Omaha and One America products offer joint options while the others do not. And something we have not discussed in detail are limited benefits. All of the products compared today so far have only limited benefit options except for One America. They have the option of lifetime benefits, and a lot of consumers seem to find that feature a differentiator in their decision making, and that makes sense. We're talking about long-term care, not average-term care. So it's just something to consider. Now let's talk about something fun. Hey, long-term care is fun, but we're talking about now using qualified dollars to fund long-term care. One America has a specific plan designed for just this. It's called their Annuity Funding Whole Life Asset Care Plan. This plan allows a person to transfer funds from a qualified account to an IRA annuity with One America. The annuity then funds a whole life insurance-based asset care plan on a 10-pay basis. There's some misunderstandings about this product as it relates to taxation. Your client still has to pay income tax on the distributions from the annuity that is paying for the asset care plan. But, of course, it's spread out, and we'll see here in a moment, it's spread out over a 10-year funding period. So, again, this does not avoid taxes on the qualified account, but of course, it's funding the asset care plan that has tax-free long-term care benefits and tax-free death benefits. So let's take a look at some examples. So here's our 60-year-old female again. In this case, she wants to reposition $100,000 of her qualified funds to leverage the long-term care risk. She places the $100,000 in. The integrated annuity with One America has a 20% premium bonus, and on an even basis, it distributes $12,000 per year to fund the asset-based whole life insurance policy. In this case, with limited benefits, provides her $6,293 monthly benefit with $157,000 death benefit. And if you figure the math on there, I believe it's a 66-month benefit that she has there. Now, same $100,000, same $12,000 annual premium that's funded with the qualified money, provides her a $4,600 monthly maximum for the long-term care, but the benefits are unlimited. And you can see it reduces the death benefit option there as well. But let's take a look at the same thing when we change it from just a female to joint coverage for her and her 60-year-old spouse. Now you can see the benefits reduce a bit. On the limited benefit scenario, it goes from $6,293 to $4,589. But keep in mind, this is for each person, and the max LTC benefit is for each person, $302,000, or they could consider the lifetime benefits of $3,592, and those benefits never run out for the long-term care as compared to the average term care. So this is the same example as in the prior slide with the lifetime benefits. However, something unique to consider. Let's say that Sue, the female here, is uninsurable. Let's say that David does not have qualified funds sufficient to fund this plan. Again, though, Sue is uninsurable, but she has the qualified funds. Guess what? David can get a plan using his wife's qualified funds. So Sue would be the owner of the annuity that will distribute and fund the coverage for David. Or if Sue is insurable, they can use Sue's IRA to fund the joint coverage for both of them, as we see in this example. And so this is a great conversation starter. And of course, If they do not use the benefits, the heirs get the death benefit. What? Income tax-free. So we hope the content here today will spark some conversation with your clients about funding the long-term care risk. And again, this is not intended to show you which plan or plans are the best. It's just to let you know what's available. Most importantly, reach out to your internal wholesaler here at Financial Markets or hit our website at fmiAgent.com and run some quotes, and we'll help you design the right plan for your client. So with that, we'll turn it back over to Tara Sewell.
Thank you, Neil. Now, we are ready to draw for our fourth finalist for the Gun Safe or the Smart TV. Just to recap, we have three finalists so far: Kirby Bowden, Angie Ford, and Todd Adrian, and we are looking for our fourth finalist. Bethany Franklin with 19 tickets in the hat. Is Bethany on the call, Neil?
We're checking now. And I do not see Bethany on the call.
All right, let's draw another name. Kirby Bowden, she is already qualified, so we're going to draw again. We are looking for our fourth finalist. Rhonda Pollock with 42 tickets in the hat. Is Rhonda on the call?
Not only is she on the call, it shows she's on twice.
Okay, congratulations, Rhonda. You are our fourth qualifier. And we are going to draw our fifth qualifier. Get my hat back here. Greg Malin with 317 tickets in the hat. Is Greg on the call?
See if Greg is on the call here. And Greg is on the call.
Congratulations, Greg. So our five finalists: Kirby Bowden, Angie Ford, Todd Adrian, Rhonda Pollock, and Greg Malin.
While Tara gets the finalists into the hat, I'm pleased to share with you our 2022 FMI Agent Alaska Cruise. Hey, for as little as $1 million in annuity production, or $30,000 of life production, or any combination thereof, you and a guest could be going on a beautiful Alaska cruise. Due to COVID, we had to cancel the Alaska cruise in 2020. Then we had to cancel the Costa Rica trip this year due to COVID travel restrictions. I'll be glad when COVID is in the history books myself. So we're excited to announce this cruise that's planned to sail in 2022. And we're so excited to spend time with you as the world gets back to normal. We'll be announcing the dates of the cruise in September of this year. The dates are not yet established for 2022 from the cruise lines, but we'll have that announcement soon enough. And good luck to you all in the drawing. And of course, for $30,000 a life premium or $1 million of annuity production, goodness, it's very attainable. So we sure hope to see you there. I'll turn it back over to Tara.
Okay. Let's grab our hat here. And we have our five finalists: Rhonda Pollock, Todd Adrian, Greg Malin, Kirby Bowden, and Angie Ford. Let's give it one last shuffle. And our finalist, Rhonda Pollock.
All right.
You won the drawing, and we will be contacting you for your choice of a locking gun safe or a flat screen TV. Also, congratulations to our fours runner-up on winning the $50 Amazon gift card. Now, our next promotion will be starting soon. Watch your inbox for details. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for your business. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for your business. Have a great day.